Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bloody Good Time. The second ever episode of Bloody Good Time, as a matter of fact.
The second
ever. The only second episode of all time of Bloody Good Time. Welcome. This is our podcast, our being me, Robby.
And me, Shane.
And we're here to talk about horror movies.
Yes.
And Shane has just shown me another horror movie called You're Next, an Adam Wingard directed horror movie from 2011.
Yes, it was originally picked up by Lionsgate in 2011. Wasn't released until 2013 though.
Holy shit.
Because Lionsgate's just like, fuck it, we'll just sit on this for a little while, I guess.
Well, hey, before we get into it, is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Like trailer or news-wise or anything you've seen?
Not yet. I do want to do a little preview for next week's episode, where we're going to do a little movie called Split.
Split.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this movie.
I'm ready for the M. Night Shyamalan shitty streak to be done.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that to be over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan of... complain about this movie all you want. I really like Signs. I really like The Sixth Sense, and I really like Unbreakable. So, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to give them a chance. It's been a while.
We'll have to review Signs one time.
Okay. People who treat that movie like a hard sci-fi movie, I think are watching it wrong. Because they go, but the water. Anyway, I have some stuff to bring up. One thing that you brought up on Facebook, we should watch a show called The Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes.
I think it looks pretty funny.
It looks hilarious.
I like Timothy Olyphant. I like Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And I like comedy horror. So I think it could be fun. When does it come out? Do we know?
It comes out, I think, the beginning of February, like February 4th.
There's really no way of knowing.
There is. It airs February 3rd. So
okay.
You can suck it on Netflix. Everybody can watch it. It's gonna be it's 11 episodes.
I saw a trailer for a Netflix thing that maybe we could watch called The Discovery. Have you heard of this?
I haven't watched it.
It's a Jason. It's not out yet. It's a Jason Segel, Rooney Mara movie? Question mark.
Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons is in it, and it looks like it's about the discovery of the afterlife. Like there's scientific proof that an afterlife exists, and people just start fucking killing themselves.
What?
It looks awesome. Like, it looks really good, and I want to watch it. I like Jason Segel a lot, and Rooney Mara.
Hold on, I'm gonna watch the trailer. Get the fuck away from the goddamn...
Fucking cats.
He was sniffing the fucking microphone. I'm sure that's gonna come up. You just hear this. Hold on, I'm gonna watch this trailer real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. Cut this out.
When did you get so flexible?
Maybe I won't.
Close your eyes now. Picture what your heart desires.
Silky chocolate, creamy salted caramel, and toasted whole grain oats.
This is just a commercial.
Is that not from The Discovery?
I was like, this is a weird... Shit.
Looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it looks really good. March 31st.
Yeah.
It's the day after I come back from my cruise, so we'll be able to fucking watch it and fucking do a cast. Hell yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, dude.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Other than that, I got nothing. I just got notes on You're Next.
Let's get into it then.
Why did you pick You're Next?
I originally saw, believe it was the original VHS, where it's basically VHS is a horror anthology series. They've made three of them now.
Mm-hmm.
First one has 2 really good segments and 2 meh. Second one is fucking awesome. If you want to really check out a good horror anthology series, VHS 2 I think has like the best 4 short segments I've ever seen.
Is that made by Adam Wingard?
No. Adam Wingard just has a segment in the first one.
Sorry, I gotcha.
I was just getting on a little tangent about VHS.
No, that's fine.
But it was a very interesting segment where he was the main character in it, so he played a role as well as directed the segment. where he had gotten this eye transplant where he got this robotic eye. And what happens is when he got this robotic eye, somehow like the sort of white noise type situation, he starts seeing ghosts. And this other girl, like, all of a sudden shows up at his house, and she's like, I fucking see him too. This happened to me too, blah, 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 blah. Fucking can't pay attention to him. She tries to fuck him to get him to not focus on the fucking ghosts. Whatever. It was kind of a funny situation. And then
Interesting.
And then she ends up dying from the ghost, and then he ends up...
It's a whole thing.
He, like, rips his eye out at the end. It's pretty fucking great.
So you're a fan of Adam Wingard?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fucking really cool segment, and then I saw You're Next, and then I was like, damn, this guy's fucking really good. And then he came out with The Guest? Yes. That's the only thing of his that I'm familiar with. We watched that on Two Guys Watch. And The Guest is fucking awesome.
It's a great movie.
To anybody who doesn't know, a little shout out to Robby's other podcast, Two Guys Watch. Definitely watch that.
Phil shouted out this one at the beginning of the most recent episode.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
We go hand in hand.
Yeah, it goes back and forth. I bet Phil will show up on here at some point.
I really hope he does. I really want to get all of us together and have a giant podcast. Just one huge podcast where we're all screaming at the microphone. Get the fuck away from the microphone.
Soon everything will be a podcast. Everything will be one in the cast. I really liked Your Next.
I'm so glad you did.
I didn't at first. It took a while for me to get into it.
The beginning's kind of shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I liked the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not
the kill,
not the opening scene.
But like the build up with the family, I was like, ugh.
But at the same time, I really liked that they sort of did that, just because I really didn't give a shit that they were dying.
It gave me a chance to like get to know just how awful everyone was, so that I could sort of detach myself from it. But very skillfully didn't detach me from Erin.
Yes. Because she was the only one that was like a decent person.
Right. For those who don't know, Your Next is a slasher film.
Home invasion movie.
About a bit of a dysfunctional family coming together for a reunion, and then they become accosted with sharp objects by a band of scary people wearing animal masks. And that's the sort of very spoiler-free version of it. Man, as far as like new slasher movies goes, it like really... It really got me, man.
Yeah.
In a few different parts. I was super into it. Do you have anything like specific that you want to get into before we do spoilers?
Just a little tidbits. Adam Wingard, T. West, Eli Roth, they're all sort of like friends. They all like come together and will collaborate on movies a lot of the times.
Birds of a Bloody Feather?
Yes. T. West plays Tariq, the boyfriend of... the daughter, the underground documentarian. Pretentious douchebag. God, when I start making movies...
I thought he was fine, but he was wearing that fucking shawl.
That fucking shawl, dude. Seriously, though, but if I ever start to sound like that when I start making movies, just please hit me.
I will.
Thank you.
I promise you.
Thank you so fucking much. But he was that, and then... the Tiger Mask Killer. He was the writer of the movie.
Okay, was that's
number one?
Bearded guy?
That's number one.
The one in the first kill?
Yes.
What did he look like? How many were there? 3?
There's 3. There was the 2 brothers.
Was he one of the brothers?
2 brothers. Yes.
It's just called 2 brothers.
2 brothers. He was
okay.
He was the
was
first
he the
brother.
one that got the shit beaten out of him eventually?
Yes. Okay. I was just trying to go chronologically, but you fine. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, the masks kind of looked the same for a little while for me.
They did.
I wish that they were different colors.
A lot of the times the mask, you're like, what is that? Is that a sheep? Is that a...
Well, what's funny to me is I took a note of this is I think in a like meta sort of way, I think maybe the killers were were fans of a game called Hotline Miami, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but it's a video game where you put on different animal masks and you go and you fucking kill a shitload of people.
Fucking Jesus.
With like it's a very gory, like scary game where you like viciously murder people wearing animal masks.
Where can I get this game?
You could probably get it on your PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised. I play it on PC. It also has a great soundtrack. It's sort of inspired and been inspired by a lot of recent filmmaking. It was mainly inspired by Drive,
Nice.
like the soundtrack and everything. And your character wears a very similar jacket.
Dope.
And a lot of stuff has sort of pulled from it recently. Anyway, so the point being, I really like the animal mask motif.
Yes, I thought they were fucking terrifying.
It was scary and cool looking, and like I kind of like it led it a neat kind of iconography to the movie. Like it's very distinctive. Even though I couldn't kind of tell them all apart some of the time. I think by the end I had an easier time.
Other than that, just AJ Bowen, who plays Crispin. He stars in a bunch of T West movies. He's I don't know. They're all friends, as well as Joe Swanberg is another direcector.
I like hearing about those kinds of like teams of filmmakers that all kind of run together and kind of have their fingers in everybody's stuff.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes bad movies can happen. We will talk
That's fair.
more about that later down the line, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll encounter a bad movie eventually.
I'll get into my hatred for Jason Blum at some time in this.
Okay. I look forward to hearing that.
Oh, God.
I do have some kind of non-spoilery stuff that I want to talk about. I thought that the mom looked younger than Crispin. She's a total smoke show. And
anyway, she's all right, I guess.
I thought she was a smoke show, but she looked unbelievably young.
Yes, she did.
But that's fine, I guess.
It's all right.
Was it Dirk? It was Drake. Drake is my second favorite character in the movie. Because that whole scene where he was talking about how he just watches TV for the commercials was brilliantly written and like very anti-filmmaker. Like it was so funny and well made. I loved it.
The first thing I wrote about Drake before I even wrote down his name was douche brother.
Yeah.
And then in parentheses I put Vicodin ?
That was a great little like Chekhov's gun, you know, a great little like the oxygen tank in Jaws' mouth, you know, like he like mentioned the Vicodin earlier, and then she gives him one when he gets a crossbow bolt in his back. I love the idea of slashers almost taking like this like team of murderers is like shooting crossbow bolts into this house, and it's taking a back seat to the family's own dysfunction. There's a part where like they're all like two of them have been hit by crossbow bolts, I think, or at least one. Drake has one in his back.
So Tariq,
and he's calling. Oh yeah, Tariq dies.
Tariq sees something outside, and he goes to get up and looks out the window and gets a friggin' crossbow in the head. It's great.
Yeah.
So great.
He gets a bolt in the head, dies, and then they all panic and start running around and stuff. And there's all this like pandemonium and chaos, and in the middle of it, they start arguing about who's a better runner. And like you get Drake calling Crispin a fat fuck. They all start yelling about why why are we arguing right now? Like it's just the most. It's like imagine getting murdered with your family at Thanksgiving dinner. It was great.
It was hilarious.
I've never seen a scene like that ever, and it was like it was played unironically, which I really loved. That was super fun to watch. That's all I have, like non-spoiler wise.
I mean, we've already spoiled that Tariq dies.
Whatever, it's fine. Somebody dies in this movie. At least one person dies in this movie, and his name is Tariq.
I'm sorry, guys. This is a horror movie podcast. If you don't think that we're gonna just say someone dies or people die in this, if you don't think that people die in these movies, then you're not watching the right podcast.
He's like ostensibly the first meaningful death in the movie. He's not the first actual death, but his is the one that kicks everything off. So it happens very early on. It's barely a spoiler.
Yes.
Unfortunately, your next is no longer on Netflix.
Unfortunately. It was.
So what I did was I just rented it on Amazon Instant Watch, which is like only $4. So I highly recommend that if this is something you're looking forward to watching.
Or you can just find it at your local store.
Yeah, you can just find it and buy it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird idea.
If you live in Arizona, where half of my listeners are, the 5 of you.
5?
You can... Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. That's generous.
We got like 20 views.
I saw. We got like 20 views. I gotta look at the analytics. I gotta look at the analytics. I only
watched it once.
I gotta look at the analytics.
I only watched it once
because I need to see how long everyone is watching. Because
okay.
It'll like tell you like where people stop.
Shit. Don't look where I stopped.
It's I haven't watched it. Because like I listened to the whole thing while I was editing it. I was like, I don't need to listen to this again.
I was like, I said it, so why the fuck would I listen to it?
I did some really skillful editing. You should really listen to it. I cut out a lot of like.
I heard. I'm trying to keep my ums limited this time.
Yeah, no, it's
not my fault.
That's like
I just
I do
happens.
it too. And like I don't even realize it until I'm editing and I'm hunting down ums and uhs.
Jesus, God.
Anyway, so that's
we?
enough about sound editing. We can talk about some spoilery stuff. Is there anything you want to jump into there specifically?
Love the way that they present the title of the movie.
Yes, it was great.
They open the movie on a couple, which we later find out are the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
It is a gentleman who left his wife for a 20-year-old, and
like you do,
I guess. Sorry, the cat's like fucking rubbing up against me. It's like
yeah.
Jesus Christ. So the neighborly couple have sex, and then the guy's taking a shower. You see the girl get up. You see her boobies a little bit. It's great.
It's got very early boobs. This is great for a horror movie.
Boobs. Always a point in a horror movie. You gotta have early boobs.
Absolutely.
No, you don't. You really don't.
I liked it. It gets points. It gets points for early boobs.
We'll get into the boobs part.
That's like a horror trope. Is boobs?
But it doesn't have to be. It can be just straight death. There doesn't have to be boobs involved.
Sure, tomato. To each his own. I need some boobs to break up the tension.
All right.
Not that it broke up any tension because it happened right away. But yeah, it like opens up with this couple.
This is where people are gonna fall. Yeah. In this.
It's
episode.
Fine. It opens up with this couple getting murdered, and one of them gets murdered and paints the words "You're next" on a window pane for the other person to see before he gets killed. So they like have this. Here's what I love. Spoilers for You're Next. This is a team of hired killers who have some military history. But their gimmick, their motif, is that they like make themselves look like a team of movie slashers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome. Like, that's great. They're like serial killer home invaders, not just hired mercenaries. And that's really cool. I don't know why they did that to this family, to these two at the beginning. That doesn't really serve a function, I don't think. I think just killing them in a clandestine way would have been a lot simpler. But I liked
did it just because they were the only people around.
Yeah.
So they realized that like they could run to them for help, so why not kill them first?
Oh no, like I know why they killed them, but I mean, why do their whole shtick for this? Family?
Why write You're Next for them? That is a good point.
Well, I guess it probably adds to the scenery for the crime scene when the cops come.
Although you don't see it when Kelly, the Drake's wife, runs up to the house.
Yeah, exactly. Which it sort of like makes it into this like overlooked thing, which is fine. It's a nitpick.
Anyway, who fucking?
One thing I do like.
It was a cool fucking.
Oh yeah,
title.
no, absolutely. That was dope. It was fantastic. One thing that I loved which was a sort of a recurring gag, was the disc repeat thing with that song playing over and over again in their house. I loved that. That was awesome. Speaking of which, amazing soundtrack. This is something that Adam Wingard does well. He did it. He did it very well in The Guest. Whoever he picks to make this music is great. This though didn't stick to one kind of music. The Guest had a very strict 80s sound, like sort of a synthy John Carpenter kind of sound. But here we get a little bit of that in some tracks, and then we get some weird almost like monster movie kind of like booming Inception noises, which was really ominous and eerie and cool. Lots of different kinds of music in this movie, and I really loved the variety.
So that song is called Looking for the Magic, and that's performed by Dwight Twilley?
I'm definitely going to be listening to that on my phone tomorrow.
Yes, dude. As the Dwight Twilley Band. Way to go. Way to go, Dwight.
I only have one more note, and it's much later on, and it's just the words "the blender" in all caps.
All right.
So if you have anything else,
I want to go through the deaths.
Yeah.
First.
Run me through it.
So who do we get first that dies in the family? We get Tariq, and then they decide that they want the fastest person to run outside. And so what have the killers done, Robby?
They've set up a piano wire like garrote clothesline right outside the door at perfect neck height for that specific person.
Yes. It's like they knew that they were going to have the daughter just fucking sprint out there, and she does, and she open the door at the last second so she doesn't know that it's there, and just fucking slices her neck right open.
And first of all, that's a gruesome kill. Second of all, I've seen that actress in another movie called Upstream Color, and she's very good in that, even though that's a garbage movie. Anyway, I thought that was a great kill.
It was such a great kill. The first time I saw that, I was not expecting it whatsoever.
Here's an idea for like a thing that we could do here on Bloody Good Time: is we go through the kills. If it's a movie with kills,
obviously that is something that I will do regardless.
Yeah, we just list all the kills and talk about each kill. That's a responsibility that I put on you exclusively.
Damn, it is raining so hard here right now.
I don't hear it at all. It might show up on the recording. Holy shit, it just started coming down over here too.
Yeah. Fuck yes, dude.
Oh my lord.
Getting that drought. Anyway, alright.
Did you see those like satellite images of California? It's like become this like vibrant green.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
It's fucking super, super good.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the movie, folks. Yeah. Alright, so you got Tariq, then you got Amy, slit throat, yes. Oh, and then so after the daughter gets her throat slit and dies right in front of her fucking parents, her mom, who's already on some pills,
needs to go have a little.
They sort of mention it. She just like fucking freaks out and she needs to lie down.
Go, hey, I'm gonna lie down. I'm gonna kind of gather myself.
And
maybe
this is
take
sort
a
of something.
Nap.
This is a little like horror cliche that I was like, what are you guys doing? They fucking just leave her alone upstairs.
They just leave her up there.
I was like, people are here to
nap.
I was like, 2 people have died.
Yeah.
Your daughter has died.
Lie down in the bed. Go have a little sit down, a little siesta.
She even asked him to fucking stay, and he's like, I gotta go check on the fucking kids.
Be alone
even though the kids are all fucking like 40 years old. Anyway.
It's classic.
Who cares?
And then,
so it
of
just...
Of course, there's a monster under the bed.
This is the perfect fucking shot. I love this shot because it just keeps it on the bed, and it's just dark enough to where you don't see it right away, but he just kind of eases his hand out from under the bed. And you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Another thing that I should say is that this is a beautifully shot movie. Very nice looking.
Yes. Yeah, he's really fucking...
He knows how to make stuff look good. And that specific shot of that hand creeping out from under the bed from like the long, wide shot was fantastic.
Yeah, I fucking love it. So, that guy, that is... I think that was Mr. Fox.
That was the Fox mask. Dude. The bearded guy.
He had a machete, and
Did he leave it in her head?
He left it in her fucking head.
And then he gets it back later? Because, again, they just leave.
Yep.
They just leave her there. And he's still in the house. They mentioned multiple times, they're like, yeah, I think he's still here.
He's still here.
And then nobody does anything about it.
No, literally, the Fox mask guy was in the house the entire time.
Yep.
He never left the fucking house, alright? He stayed there before they even got there. He was there because the dad ends up finding in the closet, like a bottle filled with pee, a bottle of water, and a bunch of like protein bars.
Yeah.
So this guy's obviously been like sleeping there. There was a sleeping bag too. It was just like, this guy's been sleeping in this house for like days, waiting for this family to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there the whole time, and they're just like, huh, whatever.
Yeah, I guess they just never go into that closet.
So he kills the mom, writes "You're next" on the wall pretty fucking fast, if you ask me, because
he did it pretty fast at the beginning too.
She screams. Well, I mean, the dude was taking a shower, so you don't know how long. I mean, guys normally like 5-6 minute shower, right?
In movie time, that was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but whatever.
It was very fast.
Whatever. But I'm saying from the time that the mom screamed, they're like, "Oh shit, what?"
And they all run up there.
They run upstairs.
Painted his masterpiece.
Written "You're next," as well as blood is just fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the mom is just on the bed like she's sleeping, but her head has been stabbed by a fucking machete.
And he goes right back under the bed.
Yeah, he just fucking goes right back under the bed.
He goes back to his home under the bed.
And they don't check. They don't check anywhere after he's just killed their mom.
Yep.
And so what do? They're like, oh. And so they leave the room except for one person who's like, I think she's cold. I'm going to put a fucking blanket on her. And then she checks under the bed just because why not when you're alone? Who's there but fucking Mr. Fox?
Of course.
It was just like, it was the best. And so of course she's screaming and she's like, he's still here.
She doesn't say anything. She just starts screaming incoherently and then runs out of the house. She just fucking splits. And everyone's like, dude, what's up?
Oh yeah, so that's Kelly.
Excuse me.
Kelly runs to
surprise,
the neighbor's
surprise.
house.
She's the next kill.
Yeah, Kelly runs to the neighbor's house and she starts banging on the glass door, because the neighbor has been propped up in a way that she can't see the fact that he's dead. So it just looks like he's being an asshole and ignoring her, which I think is fucking comical irony right there.
Very funny scene.
It was fucking great. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
And then Sheep Mask, she turns around and sees Sheep Mask, and he just fucking punches her right in the face, and she goes flying through a glass door.
That scene is so fucking
That
great.
punch was nuts.
That it looks real. It looks like she just gets decked right in the face, just straight through the fucking door.
Right in the kisser.
Bow! Right in the kisser.
And then she like crawls around for a little while, and then he holds her down with his foot by her shoulder and tees up her head like a golf ball and swings his axe at her head like a golf club. Like he's going to drive.
Yes,
that's
he
a
does.
great kill.
I keep wanting to say it's my favorite kill because they're all so great, but
There's some good kills in this movie.
There are,
and that's one of the best ones, but we got some more coming.
So this is a part in the movie where you start to learn a little bit about Erin, and you find out that Erin's not who she seems, because all you hear is she was one of her boyfriend's students, because he was a university professor.
So she seems like she might be sort of a vapid,
just
going for some good grades kind of person.
Yeah, some little hot Australian girl just trying to...
Turns out she's a bit of a survivalist.
Yeah.
Or at least was raised by some survivalists. So she's got some skills, actually. She's a little ready.
She is the most... If you're looking for a female empowerment movie, pick up You're Next, because this movie is fucking crazy.
Like...
Badass.
This is a sort of a turn that I feel like I've seen several movies take recently where, like, surprise, one of the main characters is really good at taking care of themselves.
Yes.
And I love it. I love it to death. It's something that Wingard also did in The Guest.
Mm-hmm.
Although that went a little differently, obviously. But,
yeah, it was a different sort of turn.
Yeah. But, man, I love Erin. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I found myself thinking of Ripley
Sharni Vincent.
While I was watching.
Sharni Vincent is an Australian actress. She plays Erin. She did a fucking great job. Like,
by the way,
she was
she's like fantastic.
Super believable. Like,
yeah, I think she was like the best actor in the movie.
Yes, by far.
I don't think too many people in this movie were actually like very good, but she was really great. I should mention really quick, this is off topic, but last week I kind of made it sound like I have really just never gone out for horror movies at all or anything, but I should mention like 3 of my all-time favorite movies are horror movies. My number ones tied are Alien and Aliens, which are like iconic, like some of the greatest horror movies ever made, I think. And I know sometimes some people would argue that Aliens is not horror, and I get that. It's more of an action movie.
People get murdered like a motherfucker.
Yeah. People
it's a horror movie.
And The Thing is another one of my favorite movies.
Love The Thing.
And it's a classic horror movie. So I'm not like completely foreign to the genre, and Ellen Ripley is like my second favorite fictional character ever created. And so when I was watching this, Erin like really gave me some Ripley vibes, and I dug the shit out of it. Anyway, continue.
So that's when Erin starts to fucking like make sure all the like doors and windows are locked, and just kind of like make sure everything's fucking like boarded up and everybody's okay, and she fucking helps out Drake with his fucking back and shit, and it was just like, all right, so you know that something's up with this girl.
Yeah.
And that's when the dude with the fucking tiger mask, that is Simon Barrett, the writer of the movie. He comes in through the door, and Erin decides she's gonna fucking go buck wild on his ass, and fucking
she beats his ass to death with a meat tenderizer.
Yes, she hits him in the kneecap first to fucking get him down, and then it hits him in the head once, and he's stunned a little bit. And it looks like she flips it around
over and over and over and over.
She hits him in the back of the head, and that's when he's just like, and he kind of, you can tell he's seizing up a little bit, goes down, and it's just.
And she goes for the, I would call it the quintuple tap, or the whatever 10 is, or something, however many times she hits this dude in the head.
The thing I love the most about this scene is that Felix, the other brother, and Z are just standing in the corner looking horrified at her, just like, what the fuck?
And they should be scared for reasons that we'll later get into.
Yes, they should. And the way that Tiger Mask was the guy who went and killed Kelly, and the way that he got into the house was he had dragged or carried Kelly's dead body and thrown it through the fucking window.
Yeah,
so I
felt like the movie kind of glossed over that, but that was like a shock and awe tactic.
That was a fucked up moment.
That was awesome.
So Kelly's just like draped over the side of this broken window, dead as shit. Her head is like half caved in from a fucking axe. Way to go there. And so Felix sees this and tells Erin, I'm sure that her boyfriend, Crispin, who has gone out to find help, she's like, I'm sure he's okay. And she basically calls him a pussy. And I thought that was the fucking greatest.
Wait.
Do you remember?
No.
So he's like, I'm sure he's okay. And she's like,
oh yeah.
He's a strong guy. He was like, no, he's not.
Yeah, he was like, he's a tough guy, and she was like, he's not, but thanks.
Yeah. All the while she's
great.
she's like fucking getting like weapons together for everybody and fucking just getting shit done.
Yeah.
It was such a like, yeah, my boyfriend's a fucking pussy ass bitch. It was great. It was the fucking greatest. I love that moment. So that's when the dad has finally realized that the killer is still in the house, who killed his wife. So now he's decided that he's going to go and find the killer by himself, of course.
Yeah,
because that's a great moment. And the lights have gone out, and so he goes, and you see him go down a hallway. You see the killer in the background. You're like, oh shit, man. And then the lights come on, and the killer's gone. and he turns around and his son's there, and then
yeah,
you see
that was funny,
and then
because
him and his son are talking.
For a second, it took me off guard because it was like, oh, that the killer who was there a second ago must be very sneaky. And then I was like, I thought it was just like a flub. I thought it was like sort of a goof,
like
that or like that they were trying to give me a jump scare to like freak me out. That he like shuts the cabinet and then Felix is there.
Yeah,
because I was like, why wouldn't he say hey when he's at the other end of the hall?
Right?
Why would he scare his dad? Right? You know it's his dad. You can see his sweater vest. But it quickly becomes apparent that I'm dumb and I don't know what's going on in this movie because the dad quickly gets his throat cut by, I think it's Fox Mask.
But by the Fox guy who has taken the machete out of the wife's head now and has slit the husband's neck with said machete that he had in the wife's head. Fucking great. Just fantastic. And another great line, you didn't have to do it right in front of me.
You didn't have to do it right in front of me.
So this is when you find out that Felix has orchestrated the whole thing with his crazy-ass girlfriend, Z.
To get some inheritance.
Yes, because the parents are like multimillionaires, of course, because they're rich-ass white people.
Because they're parents.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny like how fast my the way that I was watching the movie changed when that happened, because I was trying to figure out what the killer's motivations would be, and I didn't put it together until like right that moment while it was happening, and that was really cool. It's cool when a twist can actually like catch me off guard.
Yes, and so now this is when she gets in so the sheep mask or lamb mask dude has now come into the house where he has found his brother, who was the tiger mask guy.
Got meat tenderized by Aaron.
Yes. So he freaks the fuck out, and Aaron is in the doorway to the basement.
The basement stairwell, yeah.
Yeah, and so she's hiding from him, and she accidentally makes a noise, obviously. But then, of course, at this time, Drake has now woken up from his Vicodin-induced coma.
Distracts sheep mask.
Yes, and so Aaron decides she's gonna jump out real quick and stab the dude in the fucking back.
With a screwdriver.
Yes, it was like, way to go, Aaron. So this dude now realizes he's double-teamed, he's hurt, he dips out the fucking window.
Hauls ass out of there.
He's like, I'm out, bitches. Way to go, sheep mask dude, lamb mask dude, whatever you are. So this is when Felix and his crazy-ass girlfriend run back down, and this is where you find out that Aaron grew up on a survivalist compound because her dad thought that the world was going to end and they were going to run out of supplies, so he got a group of friends to just go out into the Australian outback and just teach them how to fucking survive. Which sounds insane, but sort of fucking cool.
But then you end up in a home invasion movie.
Yes.
And these skills become very useful.
Yes, they become way useful. Way to go, survivalist compound dad.
She starts outfitting the house like she's Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
But
she starts laying down all these traps.
Yes. So, do you want to talk about some of the traps?
The one that popped into my head was first when she was putting down the planks with the nails in them. I think that was actually in Home Alone.
Yes.
I think that there was actually
they made it less hurtful.
Yeah, it was less gory in Home Alone.
Whereas it was, in real life, if you step on a nail, that hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, in Home Alone it plays a lot more like a Three Stooges gag. But there was that, and she's like now we know that Z is bad, and she's like doing that with Z, and Z's like getting ready to kill her, but it doesn't really work out that way.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Felix is downstairs with Drake.
Yes, and this is when Drake finally bites the bullet. Mm-hmm. Felix reveals that he is evil by stabbing his brother, and then he stabs his
6 screwdrivers.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
Was it 7?
I don't know. I counted 7, but
Jesus,
it was some weird angles.
There's a lot of screwdrivers, that's for sure.
It was fucked up. I mean,
they have a lot of screwdrivers in this house, actually.
Yeah, there was a shitload of screwdrivers in this house.
That's weird.
It's whatever.
I have a lot of screwdrivers, huh? Maybe I should get rid of some of those.
I got a shitload of screwdrivers. I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, his line where he goes, "We just fucking die already? This is hard enough already." Yeah. It's just like, fuck you, dude.
You're a piece of shit.
What an asshole. Oh my lord. What's next in your next, Shane?
So this is, all the while this is happening, Aaron goes upstairs, finds the dad dead. Fox dude fucking pops out, tries to kill her. She jumps out the fucking 2-story window.
She fucking books it out of that room.
In a heartbeat. She doesn't even...
Like she knew it was going to happen beforehand. Like she read the script. Like, it was incredible. She hurls the meat tenderizer, misses comically. Like, it's a bad throw.
It was so bad.
And then she like launches herself out of the window like a goddamned rocket and just eats shit out in the lawn. That was a fantastic scene.
Has a piece of glass stuck in her fucking leg.
Yeah. So
she pulls out herself.
Well, she like crawls out into the forest, pulls the glass out, and then whoops, turns out Sheep Mask is out there with the crossbow. And then he misses her, and she's like, all right, bye, and runs back into the house.
Real quick.
What on earth?
And this is where you get probably the weirdest scene throughout the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where it goes back upstairs to Felix and Z, and Z starts seducing Felix on his dead mother's body.
Yeah. They found just the perfect place to have sex, and that's on your dead mother's corpse.
And
Felix is like a little timid about it. He's like, he has some reservations. He's like, why would you do this?
You're disgusting.
You're kind of gross. And she's like, you're boring. You never do anything fun.
You never want to do anything interesting. I was just like, ew, what?
Yeah. And they have
First
a little
off,
tiff about
you're
it.
killing their fucking family right now.
Yeah. God. Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
yeah,
that was the only part of the movie that I was like, this is not needed. I don't need this right now.
I'm glad it was there. I thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny. And then, Aaron hides.
Aaron hides and then finds out that
she hears Sheep Mask coming through the window.
Yes.
And he thinks he's smart because he sees the further set of nails, and so he steps in closer. But gotcha, there's another set of nails
with a lot of nails,
and he gets one right in the foot, and it was great. Because he can't see anything because he's wearing a dumb mask.
Yes. And he's just like, motherfucker. And
yeah, he's just cursing. Everyone comes out. Hey, man, what's going on? And the whole plan comes out. Everyone gets mad at each other. But Aaron hears the whole thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then that's when Aaron's phone finally decides to go off because the emergency text that she had sent out earlier finally has gone out.
Ironically, the police have texted her to notify that they're on their way.
Yes.
And that reveals her position.
Yes. So what does she do? She decides to crouch down real low. Mm-hmm. And then she got in a tiger stance and just waited for the
puts
fucking...
up her hands like she's the Karate Kid.
First off, this was probably the dopest move ever. Just like the punch to the face. She just waits, and as soon as he fucking pulls the curtain back, she punches his throat.
She jabs this dude.
So hard.
At the speed of light.
He's just like...
It's incredible. I would have thought he would have seen her coming. I'm surprised she didn't have her hands up and doing the crane kick, you know?
It was hilarious. I thought that was
great.
So great.
And then she books it, and everyone's like, fuck, it's the girl.
Yes. And so she books it through the window, through a door, they go out the door.
And she doubles back through a window, but nobody knows.
And most of them go and look through her outside.
But Sheep Mask catches on.
Yes.
Unfortunately for him.
Oh, what? And so he sticks his head through the window, looks one way. Should have looked the other way first, because she's standing right there with a fucking knife. And
he looks right at the knife that's about to go in his head.
And that's what happens. He goes in his head, and then she does like a superhero horror pose, sort of like any horror movie.
Standing in the window with the axe.
Slasher. Yeah, it was just like, that. All right, are you the killer now? Like, is this what's happening? Have you become the villain of the story?
You are the killer now.
Yes. I was like, you're
and then
next.
She sets up my favorite trap, which is the open the door and the axe swings down and hits you trap, much like the bucket of pig's blood from Carrie.
I wrote fucking trap with a bunch of exclamation points.
It's fantastic. It's so Home Alone, it's nutty. But it doesn't come into play until later on.
Yes. Okay, so this is probably the best scene of the whole movie, right?
Well, wait. Where's Fox Mask? He went to check to see if she doubled back.
Fox Mask first. So she goes
into the basement.
Into the basement, and she set up another sort of trap where she's set off a camera to just keep going off,
keep flashing, so that his eyes can never adjust, which is what I picked up from it.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't either. It was fucking super hard to see.
Yeah,
it was shitty. But she was just waiting there.
He just wanders forward like a dummy.
Yes, and she has a log or something.
It's literally just a fire log.
Was it just a fire log?
It's just a fire log?
Yeah, so she's just got a fire log, and she just waits for him to get past her, and then she just fucking hits him over the head.
She wields that fire log like she's gone through extensive fire log combat training.
She destroys his head. If you've seen the recent premiere of The Walking Dead, it's about that.
Yeah.
It's that. It's great.
It was fantastic. And then she goes back upstairs to find Z with the crossbow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And thus begins the best series of kills ever, I guess. Or at least the beginning of one of the best kills ever. That fight in the kitchen was great.
Yeah. So Z and Felix have started fighting Aaron in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And Aaron decides to take an entire blender that still is on the stand, bashes it over Felix's head, and then shoves the blender's blades on his head, and then turns it on.
Yeah,
she just plugs it in and turns it on.
Makes herself a Felix smoothie.
Oh, it
was glorious. His screaming while it was happening. The shaking his body, the comical shaking that his body was doing was great.
So it was very bloody.
And then she really casually just turns around and stabs Z in the head with a kitchen knife. With
the knife that she has pulled out of her own back that they had stabbed her with, right. 2 seconds before.
Like a thanks for the knife kind of situation.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
It's like, here's your knife back, bitch.
Wow. That blender kill. And then blew my mind.
That ending scene, even though there's a little bit of a goof, you can see the character who plays, or the guy who plays Felix, you can see him breathing still in it. It's very subtle.
I mean, I can see his body still functioning for a little bit after that.
But anyway,
I can see some glitches happening.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
But that was just one of my favorite shots. Just like the under the bed scene, it's just it just shows her in between both of them, fucking dead, and she's just like, shit, dude.
And you think, this is all over, but we've forgotten about Crispin, who ran away to get help earlier in the movie. Her boyfriend, the pussy.
He just disappeared, the giant pussy.
Felix gets a phone call. She pulls out the phone, answers it, and who is on the other line asking if everything is clear and everyone is dead but Crispin? I fucking knew it, dude.
Did you know it?
I called it to myself in my head earlier in the movie. I was like, I bet he's in on. There's something weird going on.
I really just thought that he was fucking dead.
I wouldn't have been surprised about that
pussy
either.
ass bitch.
But like at some point, I was like, I bet there's something fishy going on here. I don't know if he's involved really, but I bet it's not as cut and dry as maybe the movie's making it seem. But to hear him go like talk about how he's a pacifist and shit was just fucking sickening.
That whole ending monologue where he's trying to. First, he like tries to like make her seem like she's like taking this too seriously.
Yeah,
like it's not that big a deal.
Well, first he's trying to like maintain the illusion, like, where's everyone else? Where's Felix?
Yeah,
and then he slowly realizes that everyone in the house but her is dead. And he starts
I killed him with a blender.
She's just like dropping knowledge on this guy, and she's like clearly shaken and traumatized, but she's being very like stoic and cool. But listening to him try to like sell her on like continuing with the plan, which was basically just like kill a specific set of people in the house and take the inheritance, was like gross. Listening to him, like,
it's super disgusting.
Yeah,
it's super unsettling. You're just like, oh my god, just please, just die, just die. And then you like, get your wish.
I want to like kind of talk about this. It got to a certain point where he was like right up in front of her, and he was like, "And we could do this, and we could run away with the money, or I could go to jail."
Did you see me hold up the 3? I was just like,
I didn't know what you meant by that.
I was like, there's a third option.
For a second, I was like, man, what a fucking like out of left field like twist it would be if she was like 500,000, huh? And fucking went with it. Because why the fuck not? But she decides to go with the other why the fuck not, which was a fantastic line, and just fucking stab this dude in the head.
She stabs him in the neck. He says why, and she literally says why the fuck not.
Yeah.
Takes it out of his neck, and then stabs the knife in his eye.
Now, for a second, I was like, it didn't go with the bold ending that I pictured in my head, and I was like, all right, so she kills him, whatever. Now the movie's over, but it's not
right
over
after
yet.
She stabs him in the eye, she gets shot, and you're like, what? Who has a gun? Oh, the police have arrived, guys.
And they just witnessed her stabbing a dude. She's on the ground now. He goes to call for backup and comes in through the front door, which, as we mentioned earlier, is sort of booby-trapped.
Sort of. It has a giant axe just waiting
for some Girl Scouts to come to the door.
Yes.
It swings down and you're hit with the credits. Fantastic ending.
Yeah, it was the perfect ending.
Great stuff.
A total of 15 people died in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a decent body count for a
it's pretty
nice
good
movie.
I really dug this one, and I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for a fun slasher to watch.
Yeah,
it has some like scary parts, and it has some really funny parts. It's a really weird, pretty crazy movie. Even though we just literally told you the entire plot. We still recommend watching it because it's super fun.
Just watch it, guys.
Yeah, check it out. Do you want to call it there?
Yeah, let's call it.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment.
That'd be really great. We'd really appreciate it.
Let us know if you liked it, what you might like to see us watch and talk about later.
What you don't like about it.
If you have any questions. If you watched your next and we missed something, whatever, interact with us. It'll be fun. And, if you're listening on iTunes, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. That'll help us a lot. We're not on iTunes yet. But if we are in the future,
we're on iTunes?
If we are in the future and someone's listening to this, you can do it then.
We really need to get on iTunes.
Yeah, you can't do it yet, but
why not?
Because it could be a little costly.
All right.
But, thanks for listening, everybody. Next week, we're going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan's Split, starring James McAvoy. Anyway, once again, thanks for listening, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Yay. Click.